So why would consumers choose St. Francis Herb Farm to start off? We're a Canadian company, family owned and operated since 1988, founded by Jeremy and Monique Rivett-Karnak, and their son Paul is now president of the business in the picture there with his parents. And real passion for herbs, a desire to help people with their give people hope. Jeremy and Monique are herbalists of the old school and very fine herbalists, and Jeremy crafted originally most of the combos that we use. Our products work. They've been 26 years in the business of making herbal extracts, especially tinctures, which are a liquid form of herbs. Have many testimonials from people, especially physicians who use our products with great success. We have many of our original customers are still loyal customers of ours. Been customers for 26 years, and even longer because our business technically started before that in British Columbia. We have strict sourcing of our herbs and quality protocols. Our herbs are certified organically grown, with a few small exceptions. We do wildcraft some of the herbs that grow here in our area. We also source in-house. We have contract farmers throughout Canada, here in Eastern Ontario, West Quebec, but wherever necessary. We do monitor in-house production from the crude herb right to the finished products. We basically have control of every part of the process. And our motto, quality conscientiously. Why would someone choose herbs as a modality? So herbs are the basis of many drug medicines, and they're the main traditional sort of paradigms for herbalism are Western herbal medicine, TCM or traditional Chinese medicine, and Ayurvedic medicine. There are other traditions, of course, like native Indian herbalism and such, but these are the main sort of paradigms that we operate from, and most herbalists do. Herbs can address the energetics of the body, so the treatment is more patient-specific versus cookie-cutter approach. Herbs typically have many actions, and many of which do not have a corollary in Western medicine. So, for example, tonics like ginseng, ashwagandha, rhodiola, these types of herbs. This particular action, the tonic action, is not something you see in Western medicine. We also find that herbs typically raise the overall health of the person to a better position. That's not typical with drug medicine. In other words, people typically should expect a renewed sense of well-being, improved energy, improved mood, improved sleep. Herbs typically are gentler, don't typically work at the same pace as drugs. So whereas you can take a medication, you may expect effects in short order. Typically, herbal medicines take more time to have a full effect. That's not always the case, but that would be more typical. And then you can see that herbs can have multiple uses. So whereas captopril is the leading drug for treating hypertension, for example, it has one effect. That's to lower blood pressure. A corollary in herbal medicine, olive leaf, as an example, also lowers blood pressure equally as effectively as captopril in the studies that were conducted. But they found that as a corollary, it actually lowers cholesterol levels, so it has general health promoting benefits. So if we move forward, so just another few points here on quality and how we emphasize quality at St. Francis Herb Farm. Quality is, of course, critically important, a priority. As I said, certified organically grown herbs. We've been organic since the beginning, since way before it was considered cool in the industry, and we were really pioneers in that whole movement towards organic. Typically, herbs will be sourced based on the literature, and so whereas in many companies would just use dry herb, we actually start with fresh, undried herb when appropriate. We have a long-standing relationship with many of our suppliers, even those herbs that we don't source here in Canada, which don't simply grow here. We have personal relationships with farmers that go back many years, including contract growing agreements with Canadian organic farmers. We do all third-party purity testing for heavy metals, microbial, and pesticides. So it's certified to be free of any of those things. Everything's treated with a low heat and a gentle process, so it's typically a raw process. In other words, nothing is used, no heat is used. We only use fresh crops, so whereas some suppliers certainly can offer you older crops at a much lower price, we would never go that route because obviously we want to use the most recent herb. And we typically fit the process to the herbs. So if you're looking at some competitor products, you'll see that quite often the herbs are all made in exactly the same manner, which we don't ascribe to that whole idea. So we definitely try to fit the process to the herb in question. So whereas as an example, when you're making a tincture, which is a liquid extract, the type of extract you would use, the type of solvent, for example, the amount of that varies based on the kind of herb you're using and what constituents of the herb that you're really trying to get out of the plant and that sort of thing. So